Time is now 6 o'clock. This time we'll call this meeting to order. This being the July meeting of the Dawson County Planning Commission. I'd like to begin with an invocation from Neil Hornsey, if you would, please, Neil.
Dear Lord, thank you for this beautiful county that we live in, and I pray that we can just make the right decisions for the citizens of this county. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. Ask you to please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Allegiance to the flag, United States of America, to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. You may be seated. This time we'll have our roll call. Ms. Harmony, when you're ready. Record will show that we are 4 present, missing John Maloney tonight. Gentlemen, I assume you've had opportunity to review the minutes. Is there any amendments need to be made to the minutes? If not, is there a motion to adopt them as presented by staff?
Motion to adopt the minutes is presented.
Second. Moving second, all in favor? Motion is carried 4-0. The agenda presented by staff. Assume you've had opportunity to look it over. Is there any changes? If not, is there a motion to approve the agenda?
Motion to approve the agenda.
Second.
Moving second, all in favor? Motion carried 4-0. If you're here tonight to speak either in favor or in opposition of any application, and you have given in contributions more than $250 to any local official campaign, there's a form that you will need to fill out that Harmony has up here at the desk. Under new business, we'll begin with variance presentation of VR 22-15, Jim Callis, Huckleberry Lane. Mr. Callis, if you would, please come forward. Write your name and address on the piece of paper that's there on the podium. For the record, please state your name
James Callis.
and give us a brief reason why you need a variance for this piece of property.
This is a piece of property is in Athens Boat Club, and the reason for the variance is because it was built before the zoning laws. And they're wanting to add a garage in a driveway area so they can park their cars. And it is close to the road. And that's about it.
Will you be creating any more impervious surface, or are you just building right on top of the driveway?
We will be taking a little bit out where a deck is and adding an area there.
Any questions to the applicant? Thank you, sir. Thank you. Is anyone here to speak in favor of the application? Seeing none, is there anyone here to speak in opposition to the application? Seeing none, this time we'll close the board for discussion. Gentlemen, Athens Boat Club, BCR. Is there a move?
Make a motion to approve.
Second.
Moving a second for approval. All in favor? Motion is carried 3-0. Presentation of VR 22-16, Jim Callis, Sunset Trail. Please come forward. Your name's already on the piece of paper. For the record, please state your name.
James Callis.
If you would give us a brief presentation as to why you need a variance on this particular piece of property, or why you're requesting a variance.
This particular property is a little bit like the other one, other than they're building a carport over a driveway area. They're also adding, taking a trailer out and adding on to the existing footprint. Somewhat, they are going to the back of the yard a little bit. We've gone through the environmental and gotten all the appropriate papers that say it's okay. They're wanting to add a full-time residents there. It does come close to the road area, and the existing dwelling that's there now is already over the setback lines. So we're trying to get variances on pretty much where it was, except for the carport area.
And when was this house constructed approximately?
Oh goodness, probably, I'm gonna guess in the mid sixties. Somewhere in there.
All right. Any other questions, of the applicant? Thanks, sir. Is anyone here to speak in favor of the application? Seeing none, is there anyone here to speak in opposition to the application? Seeing none, this time we'll close the board for discussion. Gentlemen, any discussion? Is there a motion?
Motion to recommend approval, or recommend, or to approve the variance.
Second. Moving a second, all in favor? Motion is carried 3-0. You have both of your variances. Application for rezone or special use in this particular case. Presentation of SU 22-02 Happy Dog Retreat. Is someone here to speak for Happy Dog? If you would please,
Laura Manor, the owner.
please write your name and address on the piece of paper there on the podium.
It's a long name.
And if you would, please give us a reason for your request of a special use.
Well, the request that I have, I bought this kennel 5 years ago and pre-existing buildings and layout. What I found a need for in our kennel, the present office is right outside one of the kennel doors. So one of the buildings I've included a request on has an office with additional 3 dog spaces for special need dogs or real sensitive dogs that can't board in mainline kenneling. The other thing that I see that the property lacked was an indoor play space for inclement weather, which this summer's really showed us. So the dogs can have activity, you know, no matter what the weather is, and have a healthy play space other than the outside area. So that's the general reason that I'm looking to be able to build these buildings. I did just get this memo from Harmony that talks about staff recommendations and stipulations for consideration,
Yes, ma'am.
which are very understandable. So I'm just wondering at this point, because I'm just seeing this, that on my site plan, I don't think my setbacks are correct. The recreation building would have been going over a present cement slab area. So it wouldn't take any more ground space than what it does now. But I mean, these are definite concerns for the county, I'm sure, which means they're concerns for myself too. So I don't know where this falls in as far as my request goes, because I'm just seeing this evening.
Okay.
If there's a way I can reposition these buildings, but that would take a little bit of thought to do that. And also, it says maximum dogs on premises is 30. And we already board, 30 would not be in the new building, but we have a full facility that stays really busy. So 30 would be on an average, but of course, on holidays, it is higher now. And I think this is all okay because I was grandfathered in until I wanted to make this change. So I'm not really sure where we fall as far as special use zoning goes because of the setbacks that it's asking for.
So you purchased the property 5 years ago, correct?
Yes.
So you're not the original owner or builder
No,
of kennels.
it's been there probably about 30 years from what I
I
understand.
remember it coming through, so it couldn't have been that long.
Yeah.
It's been quite a while, no doubt.
Yeah, it was a lab training facility in breeding, and then the previous owner had it for 20 years.
Right.
So these were just improvements that we're looking to make, you know, for the benefit of the dogs.
Okay. You currently have 4.5 acres, is that correct?
Yes,
Okay, so you have under the 5 acres threshold to remain in RA, which is what is normally used on a kennel as residential agriculture. hence the special use permit
Right.
request. As far as the stipulations that have been presented by staff, there are 6 of them.
Mhm.
If you would, let's go through all 6
Yes, sir.
and tell me which one you have an issue with. I'll just read them out loud.
Well, we are air conditioned on all areas and the new partition, our new buildings would be also.
Okay.
And certified sound, that's pretty standard. Number of dogs on the premises 30. These buildings aren't for housing dogs except for the office, the 4 additional spaces. And they're small, 3 4x6s and 1 10x12.
How many dogs do you currently have on a weekend, say Thanksgiving?
We could have up to 80 dogs and I'm licensed for 80 plus. Just depends on how they come in, pairs, triples, singles.
Right.
And
Okay.
that's way over this 30,
Certainly does.
yeah, which is concerning to me.
Okay. What about the 150-foot setback from property lines?
It looks like, on the site plan for the office space itself, it looks, hang on. It's 62 feet from, property line.
Okay.
And then the new building, it falls in between, it's pointing at the furthest spot of the, cement slab, which means the other building would actually be more like, probably 100 feet
Okay.
setback versus the 150 that you guys would require.
Well, these are stipulations presented from staff for us
Okay.
to consider.
so
of
new
course.
at this.
Well, Certainly. Okay. Number 5, outdoor areas created for dog activities separate from the facility shall be a minimum of 200 feet from adjacent property boundaries.
I wouldn't have a problem with that at all. We were planning behind the office to make a fenced in area, but that's easy enough to change because we have a lot of yard space that's behind that area. That's way past 200 feet from the, stipulation or from the, property line.
Number 6, 10-foot buffer of evergreen plants shall be established and maintained along tax map parcel 070-049 and 070-005. Existing trees shall not be removed to establish the buffer. Do you have? a problem?
We have a good, solid, heavy, tree line there.
Any other questions to the applicant?
I don't have a question, but I mean, it looks to me like if you try to stay 200 feet off the property boundaries, you're gonna wipe out, you're not gonna have it anywhere. If you come 200 feet from every boundary, there's not gonna be room to have anything, so I'd probably recommend striking that, but.
Any questions, applicant? Mr. Steve? No, sir. Mr. Bennett? Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Is there anyone here to speak in favor of the application? Seeing none, is there anyone here to speak in opposition to the application? Seeing none, at this time we'll close it to the board for discussion. We have an existing dog kennel. New owner, or 5 years ago, new owner, looking to expand. On 4.5 acres versus the 5 that we essentially require. But it is grandfathered.
Yeah, they're
However,
just,
the new things would not be grandfathered.
and the new buildings are existing slabs,
Right.
I believe, so.
She said she wouldn't have 100-foot setback.
That's correct.
So
That
that
she
needs to
said,
be changed.
she said that's all that she could do. Well, you've got 6 stipulations that they've asked you to put in, but certainly it's just a recommendation from the staff.
Yeah, I think that.
So you can accept them or strike them or vote for or against or.
Well, I think we should strike that one. She can't have 150 foot.
Okay.
Make it
What
100
about
foot.
the maximum dogs limited to 30? She says she's already got up to 80.
Yeah, I think we should strike 3, 4, 5, and 6 myself.
I do too.
And then, of course,
So she said she could do 6 without any problem. So,
Right.
well, she said she's got an established, there's already trees there.
Mhm.
okay.
I think we can, maybe change 6 to say if she doesn't have sufficient trees, then she needs to plant a buffer.
Okay. That's Steve.
She's got 80 dogs, excuse me, now on a big weekend. Where would the maximum end up being? Especially if we're being stipulated 30 dogs now. I mean, that's a big jump, and she's already there with 80 dogs.
She's certainly over that to start with, so I
Right.
mean, she don't even have to build anything. She's already up to 80, so.
Can I say something?
Please.
The recreation building is not for housing dogs, so we're really only adding 4 spaces. For dogs that already board with us, they would just transfer in rather than being right by the kennel. And what we did with the space that they're in now,
Please come to
Come
the
come on, Mike.
microphone.
the space that some of the dogs that are in now are. It's gonna be turned into a storeroom, so. In terms of additional dogs. I'm not looking for additional dog space, I'm just looking for a better area for the dogs that need it, because the facility's so old that. It's definitely can be improved on, and that's what I'm looking for. As far as the count of the dogs. That. We would change that maybe by the dogs in suites would be 2 dogs. But I'm not looking to expand for occupancy. Just play area and private space that's not in one room, which they all share in X bins. To separate them in their own spot.
How many dogs do you say you have on average?
On an average, when it's not off summertime or a holiday.
Yeah.
Probably about 35 to 45.
And you
That's
said
right now.
maximum was about 80
Yeah.
on holidays.
I'd say, yeah, I'd say that's going high. Realistically. It would be like, we might have 80 on a changeover day. But 70 to 73. Would be max really for us. Changeover day means. Some dogs are checking in, some dogs are checking out, and they might cross over.
And your current facility is able to handle that many dogs
Oh,
as it
yeah.
is?
Yeah, we're licensed and always get great scores, never no delinquent scores or no bad scores.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank you,
you.
ma'am. Okay, so our job is to make a recommendation for or against with or without stipulations. Is there a motion?
Motion to recommend approval with stipulations 1 and 2.
There's a motion. Is there a second?
I'll second.
There's been a second. All in favor? Motion is carried 3-0. You will. We are recommending approval with 2 stipulations, the first 2 stipulations that were presented by staff. You will be heard on August 18th by the Board of Commissioners following their 4 o'clock work session. That's when they'll make the final decision. Our board is a recommending board. They will make your final decision on this. Yes, ma'am. ZA 22-16, Noah and Rachel Bell. Someone here, please come forward, write your name and address on the piece of paper that's on the podium. And would you be Noah and Rachel Bell? Please give us a reason for your rezoning request.
So long story short, we purchased the property and it's on Res Ag. And we're wanting to divide the property in half to have another brother move in with us on 2 separate pieces of property. So just basically it's under the 5 acre limit, so we're cutting the property in half and rezoning it for 2 residential lots.
When you say brother, you mean biological brother or
Her biological brother.
her biological brother? Okay. Didn't know if it was just a term or what. So just thought I'd ask. When did you purchase the property?
When was that?
This year, last year?
It was,
this year.
it was the
The
beginning
beginning
of
of
this
this
year.
year.
And it's a little under 10 acres. So when you cut it in half, it's a little under 5 acres apiece. Is that correct?
Correct.
Okay. Any questions to the applicants? Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Is there anyone here to speak in favor of the application? Seeing none, is there anyone here to speak in opposition to the application? Seeing none, at this time we'll close the board for discussion. Gentlemen, less than 10 acres, divided in half makes 9.597 acres that they're looking to split. Any discussion? Is there a motion?
Make a motion to approve.
Second.
Moving a second, all in favor? Motion is carried 3-0. Once again, you'll need to stand in front of the Board of Commissioners on August the 18th, following their 4 o'clock work session, at which time they'll make the final decision. Fred Stowers, ZA 22-17. If you would please come forward, write your name and address on the piece of paper there that's on the podium. And for the record, you are Fred Stowers.
Yes.
If you would, please give us a reason for your rezone request.
I'm sorry, I can't quite hear you.
If you would give us a reason for your rezone request.
Well, a surprise, I discovered I was moved from RA to SRS and realized I could do everything I intended to do in my lifetime on that property under RA. So I want to go back to RA.
Any idea when it changed?
That's not in the record, so I don't know.
Same piece of property that's been in your family the whole time?
Yes,
Any questions to the applicant? Thank you, Mr. Stowers. Anyone here to speak in favor of the application? Anyone speaking in opposition to the application? This time we'll close the board for discussion. Gentlemen, any discussion going from the RSR to RA? Is there a motion?
Motion to recommend approval.
Second.
Moving a second, all in favor? Motion is carried 3-0. You will need to appear before the Board of Commissioners August the 18th after their 4 o'clock work session. ZA 2218 Eastgate Holdings LLC. If you would come forward, write your name and address on the paper on the podium. For the record, please state your name,
My name's Dennis Graven.
and if you would, please give us a reason for your rezone request.
Okay. We have bought it's approximately 6 acres at Lupkin Campground and Grizzle Road, except for the little triangle in the corner, just a little bitty triangle. We're trying to rezone it as the similar properties around it for small businesses like we do for office warehouse with small buildings. I say small buildings, 5 to 10,000 square foot buildings.
Do you have any plans at this time?
We actually do not have a plan right now. We did have a plan and we thought we had some customers lined up, but it seems the economy is affecting that just a little bit.
And have
So
you
we
already,
don't want to do any spec buildings at all.
have you already purchased this property?
Yes, sir. We purchased it in December, right around the end of the year.
Is this the Bird property?
Yes. I think it's Bourbon. Yes,
Are you aware of stipulations that staff has suggested?
I am.
Okay. Do you have any problem with any of those as far?
I don't think so. No, sir. It would affect, I know it would affect the proposed little subdivision thing we got for commercial, especially the 10-foot additional right of way around along Lupkin Campground. It'd take a little bit of square footage out.
But certainly as far as the county goes, a little extra frontage would certainly help as far as
Yeah.
expansion over time.
Yeah.
Um,
Our the plan is not to even touch Lumpkin Campground, but to come in off Grizzle onto the property.
Okay.
So
So you'll be coming in before the daycare center?
yes, sir.
Any questions, applicant? Thanks, sir.
Thank you for hearing us out. I appreciate it.
Is there anyone here to speak in favor of the application? If you'd like to go on the record, you can come forward, state your name. Good enough. Anyone here speaking opposition to the application? Seeing none, at this time we'll close the board for discussion. Corner of Grizzle Road, Blumpton Campground Road. 6 acres. Going to CIR. Any discussion?
That fits in with what's around it. So
Is there a motion?
motion to recommend approval with the stipulations recommended by staff.
Second.
Moving a second, all in favor? Motion is carried 3-0. Additionally, you'll need to appear before the Board of Commissioners August 18th after their 4 o'clock work session. Updates by planning and development. Ms. Sheridan?
Still working on code changes. We'll quicker, deadline. The moratorium that's been put in place with the direction on Thursday evening, no, August 4th, as far as what they hope to accomplish in that period of time, or whatever period of time they go with, but we are working on codes. Ms. Harmony had a title change and grade change, so she's been promoted as of today.
Very nice. Congratulations, Ms. Harmon.
Do we have a meeting next month? Okay. Wasn't on the announcement, so.
Yes, we've had 2 residential developments, regional. Several variances.
That were already in the works prior to moratorium.
Yes.
And that's it with updates. That leaves us with item number K. Would someone make a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
We are adjourned at this time.